Hey guys, welcome to our October reveal of the County Line Crafts box. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Inside the box you'll find your list of directions, your step-by-step directions. And then for this month, we have a set of 5 fall and winter inserts for our interchangeable sign that we did earlier this year. If you are a current subscriber, so if you're already subscribed now, but you weren't subscribed when we did the interchangeable insert, you'll be getting that one for free since you'll need it. If you're not already subscribed and you want to purchase it, just message me and I'll get that worked out for you. So inside your kit, you'll get all your wood pieces out. We've got 5 different inserts that we're gonna do for fall and winter. And then we've got all of our foam wedges that we'll need. We have 2 little wheels for our trucks for our Christmas insert. And then our paint colors, we've got green, khaki, white, orange, black, blue, red. We have 2 containers of super glue this month since we have 5 inserts that we'll be gluing. And then we also have 2 paper plates since we have lots of paint colors. Before you get started, make sure you cover your work surface with something. I'm using newspaper this time. You could use the box that your kit is shipped in. And then I'm gonna follow through our directions just like you would in your kit. So, the first thing it says to do is grab 3 of the solid circles. And those are gonna be the backers to your insert. So you need 3 of those. And you need the spider web circle, which is this piece, and the gather insert, which is this one. And then you'll need a paper plate, a white foam sponge, and should be black, no, white paint. So you're gonna open up your paint, dip your sponge into the white paint. And if you can see, I have a whole lot of paint on there. You don't want that. All the extra paint you're gonna dab off so that it's not real thick. And then you're just going to dab that up and down on your pieces until they're fully covered. And with white being a kind of a thinner color, a lighter color, you'll probably want to do 2 coats of white. And thinner is always better. It's better to do 2 thinner coats than it is to do 1 super thick coat because it'll get kind of bubbly and it'll take a long time to dry and the paint can crack. All right, that one's done. Normally we would want to be careful to not get paint on the edges of our pieces, but since these will be an insert inside of the sign, it's okay if you get it on the edge. You don't have to be as careful. When you're doing this part, make sure that you dab instead of wiping it or smearing it because you'll get lines in the paint if you wipe it instead of dabbing. and then when you get to the gather piece, you want to do the frame and the words, but don't do the pumpkins. So this one will take a little longer. I'll have to be a little bit more careful to not paint the pumpkins. All right, and then I'm gonna go back to my first round piece and I'm gonna add one more coat to those, just to make sure everything's nice and even on it. And then we'll do the same with the others. And then our spider web. And then last, we'll do one more coat on our gather insert. And once again, just be careful to not paint your pumpkins. Okay, and then we'll set those pieces out of the way. And then we'll move on to step 2. Take out another foam wedge, the black paint, one solid circle, and the Christmas circle and wheels for the tires. And you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna dip it in the black paint, dab off the extra on your plate in a different spot than where your white paint is at so you don't mix them. And then you're just gonna dab up and down. You'll probably only need one coat of the black since it's a darker color. The wood won't show through as much on it. set that to the side. And when you're doing this one, let's see, you want to make sure that you don't paint the truck, because we are going to do the truck and the tree in red and green. So we're just going to do Merry Christmas in the outer edge. And I know I said earlier not to wipe, but you might want to just a little bit, instead of dabbing, just right around the edge of the truck and tree. So I'm gently wiping it, and then I'll dab back on top of it too, just to make sure I've got it good. And if you guys have any questions while I'm doing this, feel free to ask me and I will do my best to answer them. I'm really bad about looking up at my phone screen while I'm doing this, but I will try. And if I don't see it during the video, I'll get back with you afterwards. All right, so that part is done. And then we've got to do our 2 circles for the tires. We can set those to the side. And we are ready for step 3. Take out another white foam wedge, the blue paint, and the Winter Wishes circle. Here it is. All right, you're gonna do the same thing as before. Dip it in the blue paint, dab the extra off on your plate, and dab it on the sign. This is a light blue, so just like the white, we're probably gonna want to do 2 coats on it so that we have good even coverage. Yeah, definitely going to want 2 coats of this one. All right, I'm gonna add another coat to that, but I'm gonna wait just a minute to let that one dry a little bit before I add it. So I'm gonna go to the next step and then we'll come back to that one. You're gonna grab...
I don't know that one.
Oh, Alexa. You're gonna grab your last round, you're gonna grab your khaki colored paint, another foam wedge, dab off the extra on your plate. My plate's getting kind of full, so I'm gonna go on to the second plate that I have. And then we're gonna paint this one. That looks good. And then you're also gonna use the corner of your khaki or brown paint one to paint the stems of the pumpkins. Just a little bit. Okay. I'm still not quite ready for another coat, so I'm gonna wait another minute, go to the next step, and then we'll come back to that blue piece. So we are ready for the red paint. So you're gonna grab another foam wedge, open up your red paint, dab off the extra, and you are going to paint your Love You More insert. This one is easy, the whole thing will be red. We'll let that one dry, and then you're also gonna paint your truck red as well. This will be a little tricky because you don't want to get it on the words, the frame, or the Christmas tree. It's really not that hard, you just have to pay attention where you're dabbing and look at it. And the good thing is, if you notice right away that you got paint where you shouldn't have, you can just wipe it off, especially if it's on one of the parts that should be black. It's an easy fix. There we go. That part took a little extra concentration, but it wasn't too bad. Set that back to dry. We're gonna go back to our Winter Wishes in blue paint and add our second coat onto it. That looks a lot better than one coat. Much of a more vibrant and blue. All right, and we'll set that back to the side. All right, let's see what step we are on. Green paint. So you'll open up your green paint, grab another foam wedge, dip it in, dab off the extra, and we are going to paint the Christmas tree and the leaves for the gather insert. So I'm gonna start with the leaves for the insert. and then the Christmas tree. This will be the hardest part because you've got to avoid all the other pieces. So I'm gonna gently kind of like wipe it on first. And then I'll dab. I got a little bit on one of the letters, so I'm just gonna grab my black paint and touch up over that real quick. There we go. Moving on to the next step. The last color of paint that we have to use is orange. And you'll grab your last wedge, dip it in, dab off the extra, and we're gonna paint our boo for the Halloween insert. And orange is another one of those colors that's a little bit lighter since it's made from yellow and red. The pigment in it is just not quite as deep and rich as some of the darker colors. So we might want to do 2 layers of orange on the boo. I think one will be good on the pumpkins. All right, when you're doing your pumpkins, just be careful. Try to not get it on the words in the frame. I got a little bit on my frame. So I'm gonna grab the white paint and just touch up that little spot right there real quick. Oh, you probably can't even see it. I have my camera got moved, my kids were playing, and you probably can't even see my workspace, and I just realized that. I'm sorry. But here on the bottom, over here, I got a little bit of white or orange paint on the white. So I'm gonna paint over that. Right, there we go. And then I'm gonna go back to my orange paint and the boo, and I'm gonna give one more thin coat to them. now you can start gluing once your pieces are dry. I'm gonna check. Some of mine should be ready. Let's see. Yeah, so you're gonna use a white round and the red Love You More insert. My red one is dry, so I'll start there. We're gonna open up our super glue by twisting on the cap. Carefully, don't do it right over your work surface because sometimes a little bit will squirt out. And then you're just gonna dab a little glue in various spots on the back. And then you're just gonna line up your pieces. And give it a good press. All right, I'll set that one to the side and move on to the next one that I have ready. Our Christmas one looks like it's good to go. You just want to make sure that you have your pieces lined up super straight so that they are even and fit into your insert well. And we are using, I didn't mention this earlier, but in the past our super glue has been a liquid which dries super quickly. But this time I'm using a gel, which will take a little bit longer before it sets. It doesn't set instantly when your objects touch, but that way you can move it around just a little bit to get it lined up if you need to. I'm gonna go to my black one with my spider web. I don't think my letters are quite dry, and neither is my winter wishes, so I'm gonna grab my hair dryer if you don't want to wait. If you're impatient like me and don't like to wait for your pieces to dry, the hair dryer works great. Before I glue any letters on, I always like to place them on my project so I can make sure I've got them lined up and spaced the way I want them to fit. And my tube of super glue is almost empty, so I'm gonna open my second glue. And like I said, we're using a gel this month so that you have a little bit longer before it sets up to make it easier to glue the rounds. And you'll twist the cap on, and then it actually has another one that you'll twist off to open it. All right, I'm gonna do my winter wishes on a white, my last white round that I've got. And then our last one is our gather. Oh, before we do that, don't forget to glue your tires onto your truck. And I lost a tire from my hair dryer. Here's one. All right. Well, I'll have to find my other tire in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and glue on the one tire that I do have. There we go. We'll find the other missing one. So you're gonna get your khaki board, gather, and you don't have to put glue on the whole back of the insert, just a few dabs around it is enough to hold. Hi, Andrea. And then we'll glue on our leaves. Place them on the top of the gather. And then I'm still looking for the other tire. I have no clue where it rolled off to when I was using the hairdryer. Oh well, I guess I'll find it. I'm sure as soon as I'm done with the video, I'll find it. That's okay. So those are our inserts. We have Boo for Halloween. And then we've got our gather for Thanksgiving, the rest of fall. Merry Christmas minus a wheel for December. So don't do like I did, don't lose a wheel to your truck. Winter wishes, that would work for January or February, both. And then love you more for February. And these all fit into our interchangeable sign insert from a few months ago. I'm not gonna put the inserts in yet because the super glue could still be a little bit wet, and if it decided to cure when it was in the, what's this called? In the sign base, it might get stuck. So if you are currently a subscriber now and were not a subscriber when we did this project, you will also be getting this with your inserts this month. If you are not currently subscribed and you want to get one, send me a message and I'll get you hooked up with one of the base inserts as well. Thanks, guys.